Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series where we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 108th episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, as well as the 48th episode of Season 2 titled Storybook Rangers, Part 1. We begin this episode at Angel Grove High, where there's a book fair happening. Adam, Aisha, and Billy are getting nerdy boners over the types of books that they have. Rocky shows up out of literally nowhere, and Aisha mentions how they never had a book fair at her old school. Were you homeschooled? Kim and Tommy are also there, and Kim talks about how much she loves fairy tales. She's always wanted to get rescued by a prince on a white horse, and Tommy says, well, what about a white tiger? In like the smoothest delivery JDF will ever do. Then Kim sees a book called Grumble, the Magic Elf, that her dad used to read to her when she was little, and she gets really stoked on it. Tommy buys it for her, and Kim gives him a peck on the cheek. Rita sees this, and she says that she's going to make Kim become a part of a fairy tale. Goldar tries to tell her that she should consult Zedd, but she tells him to go the hell away. Back at the book fair, Rocky, Tommy, and Kim are talking when Miss Appleby walks by, also talking, about how the library is benefiting from the books being sold. They leave, going to the youth center to find the others. Bulk and Skull are looking for a book for Skull's mom, and they find a cookbook. Then Bulk finds a book about monster making, and he decides that they need to create their own monster, so that they can get the Power Rangers to come to them. Meanwhile, Rita sees Tommy, Kim, and Rocky walking through the park, so she zaps the Grumble book, which shoots through the air and lands in the garbage. Also at this point, Tommy asks if she likes the book so much, why is she throwing it away? Then Kim, Rocky, and Tommy walk over to it, and they're sucked in. Honestly, the set isn't terrible for it being a storybook either. They try their communicators, but nothing's working. Rocky suggests that they just morph, and then Grumble, the magic elf, appears out of nowhere, and Kim introduces everyone to him. She explains that an evil magician put a spell on Grumble, and he has to deliver toys to the orphanage to be freed of the spell. They decide to follow him since they have literally no other options. At the youth center, Adam, Billy, and Aisha are hanging out, and I like that Adam is reading a poetry book. He's the best. Anyways, Zedd sees that Rita has done something, so he decides to meddle with the plan by making sure that the story never ends, by not letting the toys get delivered, so he sends down putties to take the book. But before they appear, some two extras just take the book out of the trash can and leave. They walk away and the putties just zoom into the book themselves. They start messing with the toys and they're literally not doing anything. Zedd is pissed that they're taking so long and he decides to give them a jolt to remind them of their task. Then the putties roll out of hiding. Grumble very briefly, half-heartedly tries to take back the toys before the putties leave with them. And he blames the Rangers for him still being grumpy now. Meanwhile, at Skull's house, Bulk is demanding 9-volt batteries for something. But then when they realize that they don't have any, Skull is left to keep following directions while Bulk goes to the store. At the youth center, Aisha says that Tommy is always late, but the others aren't. So they're gonna have to go to the book fair to see if they're there. It's funny, Aisha. Act tough while your leader's gone, huh? In the storybook, the three Rangers lament how they have to get back out of the book, and they decide to go chase after Grumble. Meanwhile, the book is being delivered by those two extras from before to Miss Appleby. Then Aisha, Billy, and Adam ask her if she's seen the others, and she tells them how they left a while ago. Billy tries to get in contact with them, and Adam does too, to no avail. They decide that this could be serious, so they teleport out to the command center. Meanwhile, Skull has lost the book, and there is a searching montage, and in a nice little bit, there's a box of 9-volt batteries there. So Bulk never had to leave in the first place. Then Skull finds the wrong book following the instructions for the cookbook. At the command center, Billy, Adam, and Aisha have just filled Zordon in, and Zordon says that they're probably trapped somewhere. Billy pushes some buttons on the console for fun. In the book, the teens are in a snowy environment, and Kim says that they're in the part of the book where there's a snow monster who hates uninvited guests. Billy finds them, and on the viewing globe, they try to figure out where the hell they are. Zordon says that they're in the middle of a storybook, but he can't pinpoint exactly where the book is. The teens try to morph, but nothing happens, and according to Rocky, they can't morph because their morphers are frozen? Well, okay. Bulk comes back to the lab, and Skull reveals that he's been using the wrong book, but he lies about using it, so Bulk is bringing the monster to life. Zedd and Rita are watching this, sipping on dry ice apparently, and they decide that they should just turn Bulk and Skull's monster real to wreak havoc. The three teens in the storybook are hiding from the Yeti monster, and Alpha laments that this will never be a bestseller, nor an Emmy winner. Billy says that they can't morph because of their frozen morphers, which is still dumb because wouldn't they also be frozen? Then the monster attempts to get them, falling down, and in the snowstorm, an avalanche occurs. To be continued. There's some plot holes with this one, just like any other episode of Power Rangers, but honestly, it's not bad by any means. I like that we're finally seeing Bulk and Skull matter at all to the overall purpose of the show, but I have to admit it's strange when Rita and Zedd call them Bulk and Skull, because it's weird that they even know who they are. Other than that, it's an original concept for this show to trap them in the storybook, and the visual effects that they utilize are really well done to communicate that to the audience. One last fact. Grumble the Magic Elf is just a repurposed Mr. Tickle Sneezer, while the Yeti Monster, who doesn't seem to have a real name, is a repurposed Primitor. They're not the only repurposed suits we'll be seeing in this two-parter either. But until then, may the power protect you.